Life in a world that keeps changing. Think that it's progress you're making.
Hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. That's the way you wish. You used to shout that time in the village. Happy New Year, guys. I'm so excited to be here again. This is officially my first video of the year and I'm so happy to be here. My subscribers, my viewers that traveled, how was your journey? How was your trip? I hope it was okay. And if you didn't travel, how was your holiday? I hope it's fine. I noticed that a lot of people were busy. Obviously, it's a festive period. So yours truly was not an exception. I was also very busy. But I thank God I came back with all the parts of my body intact. Thank God we made it. I'm so excited and I'm grateful to God that we all made it. Okay, guys. So I saw the video of one of my sisters, Chantal. Yes, Chantal. She actually said something like the difference between if you look closely, the difference between 31st of every year and the 1st of the next year, there's not much difference. The difference is just that the calendar changed from 31st to 1st. Do you understand? Like some of us that went to church, were in the church doing our normal service and 12 o'clock we said Happy New Year, and you find out that it's basically the same thing. So the difference between 31st of a previous year and the 1st of the next year is what we do differently, basically. So what will make the difference between 2021 and 2022 is what we do differently. Do you understand? So the secret behind last year and this year is new you. So the year just started. So stop doing the wrong things, start doing the right things and improve in the things that you are doing that you feel that is very good. And they say crossover, we're crossing over to 2022. So the crossover is crossing over to the new you. So that is why I decided to bring this topic. It might not make really sense to some people, but I believe if it's something that you practice and if it's something that you start practicing, maybe in years to come, you will look for me and you're going to thank me. Like I'm still talking to you, I'm still in the process, I'm still working on it. Nobody will say he or she knows it all. Like I'm pointing at you now. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4. A whole 4 is pointing at me. So I'm going to talk to you about this thing, and yeah, I'm also talking to myself. So what I brought to you this year, this first video is releasing every burden. And you know there's nothing that holds people down like unforgiveness. Do you know one thing? When you talk about unforgiveness, people don't really understand. And you know the Bible said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. That like somebody like me, I didn't understand the depth of unforgiveness and the harm that I was doing to myself when I hold people bound. I used to think like every other people. I know that there are some people watching me now are, also think that way. We usually think, if you don't understand, you think that unforgiveness, when you hold somebody, when you don't forgive somebody, you're doing, maybe when you forgive somebody, you're doing that person a favor. No, you are actually doing yourself a favor. Because unknowing to a lot of people, when you are tying somebody to your heart, that person is your prisoner. You have a strong connection, like a soul tie, with anybody you're holding bound. That is a mistake that a lot of people, make, thinking that maybe I've not forgiven her. You see how you do, or you have not forgiven him. You see, you're holding yourself. Because anytime you see that person, that thing will just come like that. Because if you release, one thing about forgiveness as well, no matter what you do, there's nobody that can convince you that you have forgiven somebody. You will know. When you forgive somebody, you will know. When you have not forgiven, even in those days, in our church sometimes, when you have a problem with somebody, our pastor will come together, make peace and ask you to hug the person. When you hug the person, you hug that person. But inside of you, you will know whether you have forgiven the person or you have not forgiven or you have not forgiven the person. Do you understand? So one of the greatest things one of the sweetest thing or the greatest thing we can do for ourselves is to let it go. You know, in race, when you're running a race, you cannot compare somebody that is wearing his sportswear, his short and his singlet, running, and somebody that will start a race and carrying luggage. That is what unforgiveness is all about. You cannot run the race of every year carrying people along. People, some of them are not even aware. You know, just unforgiveness is just giving somebody room in your heart. You know, just see yourself as a building. You're a building, and you hold this person here. You're a building, and you have apartments in the building. You hold this person here, you hold this person here, you hold this person, and some of them, they are just there. They are not paying rent, and you're the one suffering it. You know, giving them light, electricity, and water, and some of them are not aware that you're the owner of the house. They are not aware that you're holding grudges against them. So this year, I don't want this video to be too long. You know, just let it go, okay? So one of the first people you have to forgive this year, if you must move on, is to forgive yourself. A lot of people don't know that they're angry with themselves. You're angry for the level you feel you should have gotten. You're angry because there are some goals you have set for yourself that you couldn't reach. You know, you blame yourself for, you know, missing an opportunity and all that. Forgive yourself because you're a human being. Forgive yourself for giving certain people a lot of time and they took you for granted. There are people that you gave your time, your affection, and they took you for granted. You didn't know. If you had known, you wouldn't have given them such opportunity to take you for granted. You know, forgive yourself for not giving the right people the time. There are people that you're supposed to, your family, your friends, maybe you have this person, you're giving this person so much time, and you're giving this person, you ignore this person. At the end of the day, you found out that this person is actually the person that truly appreciates you, and the person you actually gave time that took you for granted, that the person doesn't deserve it. You didn't know. So forgive yourself because you're a human being. You're bound to make mistakes, okay? Forgive yourself for a lot of things that I might not be able to mention here. Just forgive yourself. The second people you have to forgive, which is very important, is anybody that God has sent at a point in your life to save you from a situation. I'll call them your destiny helpers. You know, there are people that were there for you when every other person left you. Okay? It could be emotional help. There are people that were there for you. Somebody that was there for you when you were down. Maybe a lot of people, other people were busy. Other people, they didn't understand. This was the only person that was there for you. It could be that when you were sick, you know, you were down, this person was the only person that came and took you to the hospital and your life was saved. It could be a financial liberty. And maybe the person saved you and God used that person at that point, you know, to see you through that problem at that point. Then eventually, maybe the true character of the person came out. Do you understand? Because the person is a human being, human beings are bound to change. And the person maybe changed and became insulting. You know, there are people that will help somebody. They will not know that it's a privilege that God gave them to help you. Some people will start acting like a semi-god. Because they helped you, they expect you to become their servant or something like that. Or they did something, they wronged you in one way or the other that you could not accept. There's a saying in my village, Elewa Agara, if not for this thing you did for me, if not for God, just let them go. Do you understand? Just let them go. Don't forget that everybody will pay according to what he or she does. God will not judge you based on what they did to you. God will judge you based on what you do to them. Do you understand? So let them pay for whatever good or bad. Be intentional. Forgive them for your sake. Release them so that God will take care of them. Do you understand? When God is saying release them, you know, there are times somebody might offend you so badly. Heaven knows that this person has wronged you. The world knows that this person has wronged you, and God, look at this person did this thing, but you're holding the person. God is looking at you and telling you, release the person. You know, let me deal with the person the way I want to deal with the person. And you're holding the person. Do you understand what I'm saying? So release them. Be intentional about releasing people this year. Release them. Shake off the beast. Shake off the beast. Let them go. And so that you have your peace, so that you'll be lighter to focus on your project this year, to focus on God's blessings this year, to focus on what is even more important. Some people just see unforgiveness, that this person I want to tie in my heart, is he or she worth it? I'm not sure anybody in this life is worth the joy, you know, is worth holding in your heart. no matter who that person is. Just the next people I want to talk about, this particular people is quite sensitive. Even me, I didn't know that it could be something I would talk about, but I've come to realize from my interaction with few people that there are actually people that are holding grudge against their parents. Let them go. This particular one is very sensitive because there are some that you hear their story, you find out that they are justified in, one way or the other by being angry. But according to the word of God, they said, he that dishonors his parents, his light will be put off. Honor your father and your mother that your days may be long. There was a time I was arguing with somebody. I was telling the person, I was actually encouraging the person, to call the parents, because actually what the parents or the father did to him wasn't okay. But that is not what God asks. God has given you the commandment. Just do it, because trust me, the blessing of your parents, you cannot buy it from anywhere. The blessing of a parent, you cannot. No matter who lay hands on you, the blessing of a parent is superior to any blessing from anywhere. Apart from the blessing of God, the next is the blessing of your parents. And your parents are the God that you see on earth. So when they offend you, just try your best to let it go. Forgive them. Forgive them. So what I was saying, the person now said, haven't I... I was reading the verses of the Bible where I said you should honor your parents. The person told me, haven't you read, parents do not provoke your children? And my question is, what is the punishment, that is backing that verse of the Bible? That is the only verse of the Bible where the Bible said parents do not provoke your children. There's no punishment for the parents, even though that is not a justifiable reason for any parent to intentionally or provoke the child. But like I said, do your own part and let God take care of everything. I remember one of my friends in those days that got married. The mother-in-law came to visit. She wasn't feeling too well. She should be around 70 or 60 something at that time. So this old woman, she will come in the morning when the son wants to eat. She said she wants to eat. Why? Because the son was there. She will take her breakfast and the son will go out for work, obviously. So within lunch and all, the daughter-in-law will be asking her, Mama, will you eat anything? She said she will not eat. But immediately the son opens the door, she will start, Imakwa, since you left since morning, that food I ate, that was the only thing. These people have not, So initially, that my friend and the husband started having a slight misunderstanding, and this can be very painful. Do you understand? But when she told me, we talked about it, I said, leave her. That's the manera her old age came with. Do you understand? Nobody knows. We have not gotten to that age. So nobody knows in which angle our old age is not our portion, but nobody knows how we are going to act. Because in those days, I remember when my mother would tell me her leg is paining her, hand is paining her, I would be like, why should you be the only one your hand and leg is paining all the time? But now I understand. Because sometimes I will stay, my leg will pain me. So that is it. We don't know how it will come. We don't know. Let us sow a good seed, to our parents, so that, you sow the good seed, you reap the good seed. So we don't know how the old age, will come. We don't know how our understanding with them would be by the time we get old. So try and accommodate your parents. Sometimes it could be what your parents did to you when you were young. Just let them go. Some people saw their parents their father beat their mother when they were young. Just let go. Somebody like me, before I became a parent, I remember in those days, my mother would send me on an errand, and she would send me on errand. Chineke. Then at the time, I'll be asking myself, am I sure this woman is my mother at all? Do you understand? And my sister, sometimes I'm always with the house help in the kitchen. So my siblings will be in the sitting room. My mother will still call me that is in the kitchen and tell me to come and run errand, that kind of thing. I'll be like, but that kind of these people in the sitting room, uncle. That time I'll be like, am I the same? Am I sure this woman is my mother? But now that I have become a parent, I do the same thing. I know of my children, I teach all of them how to wash plates, how to clean the toilet and all. But I know that I have this particular son of mine. When I ask him to dress the room, he will dress the room and it will be like I am the one, or even better than me self. So, and I have the one that when I ask him to wash the plate, he will wash the plate, everywhere will be neat. So they will be doing that. But anytime I'm tired, it might not be this person's turn to dress the room, but because I just don't want to talk, I'll just say, oh Ngwa, please help me. You tell me, mommy, it's not my turn. I say please, because I don't want to talk. Do you understand? So I'm beginning to understand those things my mother used to do to me that time. I didn't understand, but now that I've become a parent, I've understood those things. So we don't know. So just let it go. Obedience is better than sacrifice. According to the, great book, Obedience, God said, just let them, forgive them, honor them, so that they will live, the evening of their life will be peaceful. Let them bless you, and just let it go, because the blessing of your parents can defend you anywhere. It can defend you from uncertainties in this life, because you have a part of your parents in you. So don't dishonor them. Honor them and allow God to do what he has to do. The last but not the least you see those people that will gang up against you when you did not do anything to them. This year, let them go. Shake off the beast. Let them go. Let them go and let God do his thing. God said, woe to him whom the offense cometh. When the Bible says woe, God said, you have finished. What to you for offending my child? Okay, but the problem is that we are holding them bound. This video is long already, so I hope we'll start this year with a good note. I wanted to tell you a story of what happened to me at the place of work concerning this, but I think it will be in my next video so that I don't make this video so long. Okay, so let's start this new year on a clean slate. And don't forget, there's nobody that can convince you better than yourself when you forgive somebody. Ask God for the grace. It's not easy. I used to tell people that forgiving somebody, like there are some things people will do to you, you actually need the grace of God to let go. But another thing about forgiveness is usually a test. When you forgive, the reward comes. That is basically from my experience. When you forgive, the reward comes. When you release, then you have given God the chance to do what he has to do. Forgive. If there's nothing you have gotten from my video since 1 year plus that I've started, and this one, and I hope you got something. I hope we are going to do it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you very, very soon in my next one. Bye.